Today on Jesus Flicks, I'm reviewing MindReader. It's a Rich Christiano film, and before we get started with the review, I have a few housekeeping notes. First, thank you, Rich, for allowing me to watch this as a digital screener. It's greatly appreciated. And the second thing is that if you are in the Capital District of New York, so Albany, Schenectady, Saratoga, Queensbury, Lake George, all those areas up and down the Northway there will be a viewing of this movie on August 9th at 7 p.m. at the Regal Cinemas in Clifton Park. And you can contact me directly if you want tickets for that, or you can go online to mindreadermovie.com and buy your tickets that way as well. So if you're not familiar with this film, it's based in 1974, and the amazing Dexter has a mind-reading act that fools everyone, including the local Magicians Association. And his act gets more and more popular, and as it gets more popular, the Magicians Association gets a little jealous of his popularity and his fame. And so this is about what happens during that. I'll play the trailer and then I'll come back and talk a little bit more about this movie.
Now I want you all to write down a number from 1 to 100. 83, 41, and 17. Please show us your pads. 83, 41, and 17. I believe I got them.
Seen the show 6 times now. Each of you have had a chance to see him at least once. And, just as I predicted, neither of you can tell me how he does it.
Your word is locket.
That's right.
Your word is boy.
That's right.
What I can tell you is that it is a boring routine at a 2-bit theater.
That boring routine is packing out that 2-bit theater every time they're putting on a show.
My name is Dexter, and I don't really do magic. I just read minds. Good night. Howard, how are you?
How about that Dexter down at the theater? Isn't he something?
Yes.
You know, I've been 3 times now. People are saying this man has supernatural powers.
There is something here like we have never seen before.
Pick out a card.
You think you can tell me what this card is without looking at it first?
Yeah, I do. And you don't want to play with me.
Nobody can read minds. He's doing something. He is going to make the association insignificant.
I agree. He's become a problem for us. But we need to be smart about how we solve that problem.
You see, the Great Dexter can't do his act without his plans.
Tell the truth!
This is very serious. They see you as a threat.
But how could they stop our show? Trust me, they can. And they will.
Dexter, will you denounce the supernatural, yes or no?
Why don't you get to the truth of the matter, sir? The fact is, you and your associates and your years of experience can't figure out how this is done.
We gotta find out how he's doing this act, or find a way to stop him. And for me, preferably both.
Okay, so you just watched the trailer and you can see that there doesn't appear to be any Christian themes in this trailer. It doesn't seem to be a gospel-centered film. But I can assure you after watching it that it is. And so I have to be a little careful with my review here because there's something in the plot that happens that I really can't give away. So I have to speak with very broad strokes when I'm talking about this. So I'm going to use my regular matrix that I use all the time to discuss a movie, and I'll think I can give you a good opinion of what this is. So the goal of this review, let me just hit that first. The goal of this review is for you to contact Rich and have this movie played locally in your theaters. It is really a grassroots movement at this point, and it's not available digitally or on DVD or anything like that. And the only way to get the movie in your theater is to contact Rich and basically sponsor this movie. And I can assure you that by sponsoring it, I don't mean that you need to put up any money. You just need to be willing to go out there and hustle and sell some tickets. Okay, so into the review. We'll start with the story. I really enjoyed this story. I liked the intrigue. I liked how it moves along very nicely. I never felt slow at any point, I don't think. I found it very well written and engaging as well. Moving on to the characters. Hamish Briggs, he plays Dexter, and I mean, he does it so well. I love his presence when he's doing the act, and I also like his subtlety when he's not on stage and he's interacting with the Magicians Association. And he's very, very, I mean, he's not always subtle, but most of the time he just kind of looks at him and smiles and says, well, you know, all I do is read minds. And it's so wonderfully portrayed. Patrick Wade plays his sidekick Caleb, and I think it comes across very well, and I kind of like how he's always there and he wants to step in and defend Dexter at every point. And I thought that was well written and well done as well. Connor Keene plays, I'm looking at my notes, Nicholas, and he's a true believer in the Magic Association. He's looking at what's going on, and he's on Dexter's side, and he's trying to convince this association that Dexter's the real deal. And he points out the reasons why he thinks that. You have Ross Turner, who plays Robert, who's kind of the head of this Magic Association, and he's kind of the skeptical believer. And he's looking at Dexter and saying, well, we haven't figured it out, but he's kind of on the fence about it. And then you have Roland Rusinek, who plays Maxwell, right? And Maxwell is just like, he can't stand Dexter. He just wants to ruin him and makes every effort to try and humiliate and prove that Dexter is a fraud. I thought these characters were well written and will kind of flow into the execution here, and I thought they were well acted as well. There were a few times where I felt one of the characters, I'm going to say which one, I thought the acting was maybe a little bit over the top, more theater than film. But other than that, I thought it was executed very well as far as the acting, which speaks well to the directing as well. I thought the directing was pretty good. I imagine, I'm not 100% sure, but I would guess that these actors were kind of allowed to flow with their characters a little bit more, because many of them seemed very comfortable with the characters that they were portraying. Another nice thing about this is there's very few sets, and so that allows them to control the lighting well, control the audio well. I never felt at any point like, I don't know if any of the actors had to do any ADR, but it did not seem like it. I never, felt like there was this jarring point where you could tell someone was in a studio and not on the set with everyone else. I never heard a lot of room noise and echo and things like that, which you can hear sometimes in some productions. And so I thought overall the film was executed quite well. Okay, so we're moving into the part where I have to be very vague about the theme and the themes and kind of the central message of this movie, the central Christian theme that comes across here. Let me just say this for anyone who's who's watched the trailer and thought, I don't see this as being a Christian film. If you bring people with you who are either questioning their faith, have questions about Christianity, aren't sure about their faith, and even if you bring people with you who maybe don't know Christ, they will have the gospel presented to them in this movie. I assure you of that 100%. You will, if you are looking for a way to present the gospel to someone through film, this movie can do it for you. So that's MindReader. It runs about an hour and 24 minutes. It doesn't have an official rating, but I'd say it's PG. You know, you can bring your kids to see it. Certainly your tweens and your teens, no problem. And I would say, yeah, go see this film if it's playing locally. If it's not playing locally and you're on the website and you don't see where it's playing, go contact them and get in touch with Rich or Tommy over there, and they can help you get this movie into theaters near you. Again, if you're in the Capital District, this will be playing August 9th at 7 p.m. in Clifton Park at the Regal Theaters in Clifton Park. You can contact me directly, or you can purchase tickets online if you'd like to see it. And until next time, my name is John Wilkerson. This is Jesus Flicks, and I'll see you at the movies.